We're here back at the Fantasy Bar, big Friday night in the MLB. We got 6 of my favorite plays for you, including a FanDuel only play for you for that early start. What team are we looking to stack up here tonight? My favorite value play on the board, and of course, my favorite bat on the board. Who we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back once again after a couple days off here. What a better place to be than the Fantasy Bar here on a Friday, talking some MLB. Now, we got some early action going. We got an earlier start over on FanDuel and a 7:20 start over on DraftKings. So we're a little bit all over the board. We're going to focus on those main slates. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the video. Now, before we get into those plays, couple things. Take a second. Click that thumbs up button. That is the tip jar here as you enter the Fantasy Bar. Appreciate that. Also, subscribe to the channel. Don't miss any of the content, and head over to scoresandodds.com/beer for tons of great sports betting information, including some easy premium picks if you don't have the time to dig into all of the information. All right, let's get into it here again. Start times all over the board. We also have Coors Field on the board tonight. You guys know the rules, and if you're new here, we don't spend a lot of time on Coors Field. In fact, we generally leave it out of the videos. Don't need me to tell you to play Coors Field. All yesterday, 1-0 game there in Coors. Maybe a little bit lower ownership tonight, but we'll leave Coors to the side. Plenty of good plays outside of Coors Field that likely be lower owned here tonight. All right, let's start with that FanDuel only play tonight with their early 6:40 start. We're going to go to that Tampa Bay game with outfielder Randy Arozarena. So if you are on FanDuel tonight, I think you definitely want to take advantage here of the Tampa Bay Rays, specifically Arozarena as a one-off play in any format. Even this Tampa Bay stack against the left-hander is going to be squarely in play here tonight, but Arozarena, really good numbers against lefties. We're talking an ISO at almost 250, a WOBA at almost 380 since the start of last season. Now, Waldichuk, not a big sample, but a big enough sample that these numbers are alarming enough and enticing enough for us to jump in here. 386 WOBA, a big 282 ISO allowed to righties, and a 43% fly ball rate, 46% hard contact rate. Some home run bets certainly in play here tonight with this Tampa team. Love me some Randy Arozarena tonight here on FanDuel. Under 4,000. All right, stay in the outfield here, guys. Playable on both sites. We're talking JD Martinez of the Dodgers. So we're going to try to include my favorite stacks in the videos moving forward. And the Dodgers are that tonight here against Madison Bumgarner and these Arizona Diamondbacks. JD Martinez has generally been very good against lefties over the course of his career. No different going back to the start of last season. We're talking big-time power, 270 ISO, a WOBA north of 400 for him against lefties. And Bumgarner is always a guy that I want to pick on with right-handed hitters, specifically the power hitters. 229 ISO allowed, 40% fly ball rate, 45% hard contact rate. JD Martinez and the Dodgers in a good spot here tonight against Mr. Bumgarner. All right, let's stay there with the Dodgers, but we're going to go to starting pitching with Clayton Kershaw. Now, if you've looked at anything, if you started making lineups, you're going to notice starting pitching is an absolute disaster on the slate tonight. It's basically Brandon Woodruff, Clayton Kershaw, and then a bunch of nothings after that. But we're not even getting a discounted ownership on a guy like Chris Bassett. So why not just lock in Kershaw? And we can get different with our bats here. So cash games, I think you definitely want to go this route, especially on DraftKings where you got to roster 2 pitchers. Yes, you're going to see a lot of Kershaw and Woodruff lineup. So maybe you get different with that second SP2. And even in tournaments at this ownership, still want to make him a core play at the starting pitcher position. Last start to open the year was dominant against this Arizona team. 9 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw over just 6 innings, went over 30 DraftKings points in that start against this team. In Arizona, we know, not a potent lineup. You go back to last season, we're talking bottom 10 in ISO, which is a power measure, WOBA, WRC plus as well. They were one of the worst teams in the league. So a team that just does not hit lefties well. Kershaw looks to be in Cy Young form here, and our other options not great. Locking in Clayton Kershaw as our starting pitcher. All right, let's offset some of that cost with Kershaw in the outfield. My favorite value play on the board, we're talking Garrett Mitchell of Milwaukee. I think this guy definitely a great buy low here tonight, 2,600 on DraftKings, so lower than his FanDuel price, which is very rare to see. And this is a buy low you're going to want to take advantage of moving forward, not just tonight. These prices seem way too low on Garrett Mitchell. Been red hot here of late. Over the last 4 games, 6 hits, 3 home runs, and 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored in that same stretch. Limited sample here, but has been very good against righties here in his young career. hitting for power, 224 ISO, 368 the Wobble for him here in Flaherty, a guy a lot of people are going to roster at that starting pitcher spot. So we got Coors eating up ownership. You get some nice leverage here off the Flaherty owners. Garrett Mitchell just way too cheap here. Take advantage tonight on both sides. All right, to first base next with Matt Olson of Atlanta. So Matt Olson been great to start the season. 4 multi-hit games already under his belt here. And over the last 2 games, 5 hits, 5 RBIs. So locked in here in the month of April for Matt Olson. Leads this team with a big 284 ISO against right-handed pitching going back to the start of last season here. Martinez going to throw a variety of pitches here. And you can find all this information in our Plate IQ tool here, in our premium suite of tools at RotoGrinders, which you'll have a shot at some free RotoGrinders premium coming up with our next play in the Beast of the Night spot. But those pitches that Martinez throws, Olson matches up with all 3 of the primary pitches here from Martinez. Also gives up a solid power mix, 37 and 35% to left-handed hitters. Olson, we're spending up on here tonight against Nick Martinez. All right, it's time. You take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's run it back on our Beast of the Night contest. Congrats to all of the recent winners. How do you play? Very easy. Just get in the comment section right below the video. All you got to do is guess fantasy points on FanDuel tonight for my highest scoring hitter. You don't even have to guess who it is. Just the fantasy points. Made it super easy for you guys. The closest guess going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. Chance to check everything out behind the scenes, including that Plate IQ tool that I've been referencing here in the video. All right, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night. You know, Mass, the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We're going to go to the other side of that Atlanta-San Diego game with third baseman Manny Machado, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, kind of polar opposite here of Matt Olson. Manny Machado, kind of a slow start to the season. Hasn't been a disaster. Hitting around 280. We haven't seen a ton of power here, but I think we're going to see very little ownership here on Manny Machado. Early ownership looks like under 10%. Combining this slow start, combining Coors Field, combining other places that people want to spend up on. So a sneaky spot where we can offset some of that Clayton Kershaw ownership here with a guy like Manny Machado, who we know has big time upside, 259 ISO against lefties, even if the lefty doesn't go very far in the game like his last start. Good against righties here as well. These are kind of guys that I love to roll with, so we don't have to worry about if they go to that good bullpen. Now, Schuster knocked around in that first start. 4 earned runs in just 4 innings, gave up a lot of walks, putting a lot of guys on base. That can lead to those 2-run, 3-run home runs that we are looking for here. You add it all together, the lefty on the hill, the potential ownership, and the massive upside. Manny Machado, easily my favorite play on the board, and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it here for Friday night, talking MLB with 6 of my favorite plays for you. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points from my highest scoring hitter on FanDuel for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. And thumbs up button if you have not already, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't miss any of the content. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck on tonight's slate. We'll take the weekend off from the 6-pack, but we will be on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. I'll be teamed up with my boy Eric Beinford, 3 to 5 Eastern tomorrow, and then 7 to 9 Eastern again, running it back. So make sure you are checking us out over there as well. Thank you for all the support. Guys, best of luck here tonight. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist